Morning, everyone. Welcome to our next topic. In basic macroeconomics, we will discuss the opportunity cost, in which your micro decision as of today has a macro effect in your lives, in our society, or even in our economy. Now, the opportunity cost of a choice is the value of the best alternative that you must forego in order to make the choice. Imagine that you are considering whether to go to a movie, and your main goal here is to maximize your utility. The utility that we are referring here is your satisfaction. And because staying at home and spending no money is actually always an option, and you certainly won't go to a movie if the utility, let's say example, your happiness you obtain from doing so isn't at least worth the price of the ticket and the time that you will spend or that you have spent. However, to make the best decision, it is not enough to think only of the price of the ticket that you spend, but actually, we are considering here how good the movie is and how much time you will spend watching it. You may also want to consider as well how much utility you would get from spending your resources. And those resources that we are referring here is the money and the time that you spend on that movie. Let's say, for example, the opportunity cost of going to a movie is the foregone utility from the next most enjoyable activity that you could have done. Let's say, for example, if you really think right now that going out to eat in a fast food chain, in a fine dining restaurant is much more enjoyable rather than watching movie. So your forgotten utility is watching movie. The next example is that we have here is if you really think that buying a video game will give you much more satisfaction rather than watching movie. So your forgotten utility is watching movie, right? Now, let's give you another example for the opportunity cost. Any decision is the value of the next best alternative that the decision forces the decision maker to forego. First example that we have here is for those who are currently employed individual. Are you willing to give up your current job in order to finish your studies? The second example that we have here is for the professional doctor who have shifted from being a professional to become an entrepreneur or a businessman. Are you willing to give up your profession as a doctor and you earned 60,000 pesos a month in order to focus your business and you earn a monthly net profit of 50,000 a month? The third example that we have here is for the students who are fine and an avid fan actually for the milk tea. Are you willing to give up drinking or having milk tea every week in order to save your money for the whole consumption of your daily needs for the whole month? And the last example that we have here is for those currently employed individuals who have want to have their vacation leave. And are you willing or are you willing to give up your 4 days works? And imagine you will earn a worth of 20,000 for that 4 days of work. And you decided to go to a Boracay or to go to a vacation and you will spend 4 days and it will cost you 30,000 pesos. Now let's try to look here example that I have for the cash flow of Juan de la Cruz, his personal cash flow, and this is for the month of August 2022. Let's say he is actually a professional, and this is his compensation and the expenses that he have. For the salary that he have for the month of August, he have 50,000 pesos a month. And for the expenses, let's say, for example, he have an insurance of worth 2,000 for his car insurance. It can be life insurance. The taxes, well, actually, as a professional, we have this personal tax that we have to pay. For the rent, let's say, is renting a lodging house or sorry, a boarding house or an apartment worth 3,500. For the loan, let's say he spend 3,000 or he have to set the 3,000, set aside the worth of 3,000 for the payment of his car loans or salary loan. And for the food, he's not a spender. So he spent only 5,000 for the entertainment. Um, let's say uh, he got to go with nightclub every Friday night with his friend, and he spent 5,000 for the utilities. He spent 2,000 for the membership. Let's say he is a member of a gym class or a Zumba class. He spent 1,000 for the personal care. He spent 2,000 for dining out. He have fun having a dinner or in a fine dining restaurant with his friends and family. He spent worth 3,000. So a total expenses that he have is a total of 20,500. Now his net cash flow based on the income that he have minus the expenses that he spent for the month of August. So he have a net cash flow of 21,500. Now, as you can see here, this is the cash flow statement of, this is a personal cash flow statement of Juan de la Cruz. Now let's try to look, for example, Juan de la Cruz decided to shift from being a doctor to start his consulting firm as um, uh, one he wanted to provide his services. Now his cash inflow, the beginning of his cash is 21,500, which that is the net cash flow of his salary from being a doctor or being a professional. And the sales income, let's say for example, he earned for the previous month sales of, or he got a sales of 10,000. And the next is the asset that he have. Let's for example, he sell his laptop, the luxury brand of his cell phone. He sell only for let's say 10,000. And for the loans, he borrow a money from the bank or other financial institution. For the capital, let's say he held this angel investor relative who wanted to invest in his consulting firm. So he gathered 20,000. So a total of for the cash inflow that we have right now is 81,500 for the month of November. Now, for the cash outflow, his expenses, let's say he have these two employees that works or uh, he paid he has an employee or at least two employees to manage his consulting firm. And for their compensation, for the salary, he will spend a 20,000. For the other operational or operating expense, let's say he have this 15,000. They need to spend the overhead expense, the security, and so on and so forth. For the loans payment, let's say he will be paying that for the next 2 months. For the capital expenditures, he have to spend 30,000 and a total of 65,000 for his total cash outflows. Now, compared to the cash inflows, plus to the cash outflows, his net cash flows is 16,500. This is the cash flow statement of Juan de la Cruz for his consulting firm. Now, if we're going to compare the both or the two aspect of his earning, generating income, being a professional and being a an in consulting firm, so we can see that the difference of the net cash flows from being a professional as a doctor, he has a net cash flow of 21,500, and being a consulting firm, he has a net cash flow of 16,500. Now, for the cash flow of Juan de la Cruz being a professional is 21,500, and for the cash flow of Juan de la Cruz, a consulting firm, is 16,500. Now, the opportunity cost, the foregone utility that he have, and he chose to have a consulting firm is 5,000. Imagine, the 5,000, he lost 5,000 of income that he generated on a monthly basis, just just to pursue or to continue his uh, dream business as a consulting firm. And I think that's all for today. And if you have questions, you may ask me for further clarification. And thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.